Welcome back to Gunner Fan TV. Welcome back to another match reaction. Chelsea versus Arsenal at Stamford Bridge. And I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. Very, very disappointing performance by Arsenal today. What else can you say, right? If you're going to be honest, that's a disappointing performance, poor performance, lackluster. You could find many adjectives for the performance today, and it's not going to be a positive one. The stage was set. We could have gained another 3 points today, and we would have been 9 points ahead of Chelsea, 7 points ahead of City. But now we're only 5 points sitting at the top. We are still at the top, so it's not cause for panic, but it's a cause for concern because now we're down another defender, another injury. So let's talk about that real quick. So today, I actually knew things were going to be off when I saw the lineup and I saw that Saliba was out. That was cause for concern for me. Come to find out, he picked up a knock before the game in training, which is mind boggling to me. I don't understand how, before an important game like this one, you have an important player like Saliba getting a knock in training. Why is training so intense before a game? Only God He knows. I don't understand why. You should have wrapped that guy in cotton before this game. He's the only experienced, solid defender we have left. He's not available for today. What do we do? All right. We put in Capia in. We put Mascara in. That's right. These guys are good defenders. I trust them. But you're not going to get the same kind of performance that you would get from a Saliba or a Gabriel. We understood that, right? What I expected was for Rice to kind of supervise, right? Because now you have the kids who are running the show. So you have to have like an adult there to kind of supervise. And Rice did that very well today, hence him having a wonderful game. Like his game today was excellent. His performance was top notch today. He was the only player today that seemed like he wanted to play, he had the intent. Everybody else came out today and had an average performance. They decided that today was a day that we're going to go to Stamford Bridge and we're going to have an average performance. Rice wasn't thinking that way. Rice played an excellent game today, and he supervised those kids in the back today, and to be honest, they did pretty well because of that, right? Conceded a goal, and I think that goal could have been stopped if Mascara wasn't paying so much attention to Enzo Fernandez. He's kind of grappling with him, and the ball kind of went over his head. And if he probably was a little bit open, he probably could have had the ball over the bar or headed it away. But with that being said, Caicedo got a red card in the 30th minute, and it didn't look any different. It looked like they wanted it more than we wanted it. You know what I'm saying? It was as if Chelsea knew what we were lacking from the back and they took advantage of that. Maybe that was the case because we weren't able to build, the way we normally build up play from the back. Chelsea was pressing us consistently, constantly pressing us, not falling back, allowing us to play. And we weren't smooth coming out of the back. You know what I'm saying? The way we would when we had a Gabriel or a Saliba. And it was evident. But even with that being said, we should have won the game with the players that we have. The only changes were the two center backs, right? Mascara and Encapié. So even with that, we should still have a solid foundation to continue playing the way that we normally play. Even if we can't build from the back the way we used to confidently, we still have experienced players within, and it just wasn't evident today. Everybody else was average. I mean, Timber was okay. Timber had a solid game. He kind of nullified Pedro Neto. Um, Calafiori was okay also. I mean, he did get hooked, and the yellow cards were an issue because most of the players today, four players to be exact, are two center backs, Calafiori and Zubimende, both got, well, not both, all got yellow cards, all four, which phew, I don't know what was that about. Maybe they got caught up in the moment. The emotions were too high, and they just got booked. Calafiori was kind of self-inflicted. No one told him that a player was on. Got caught on the ball. Went back, fouled the player, got a yellow card. Zuba Mendez, I think his was kind of like a cheap call too. I mean, it wasn't really a yellow card in my opinion, but that was the time that the referee was on. We saw what the referee was on, and he was consistent. I mean, he wasn't. It wasn't terrible refereeing, to be honest. We saw what kind of time he was on, so we should have took that into consideration and played accordingly. You know what I'm saying? But very average from everybody, man. Very average. Zubimene got nothing from Zubimene today. You know what I'm saying? And overall, he's been good for us, but today, nothing. Eze today, nothing. Seems like he was hiding, and it's not a day for you to come up to Stamford Bridge and hide. You have to kind of get into the game. Both him and Zubimende. So not good performance today from the midfield, and that's where we kind of lost the game in the midfield because our midfielders today didn't show up, with the exception of Declan Rice, who was everywhere. Immense performance again from Declan Rice, breaking up play, supervising the two center backs. You know what I'm saying? Picking up the ball, driving with it. He broke up a lot of play today everywhere on the field. From the start to finish, right? He was putting in a shift because he understood what was at stake, right? And I wish every player had that mindset. But Declan Rice again showed up. Another stellar performance. You know what I'm saying? He's worth every single pound we spend on this guy. But our midfield today was weak. Overall, the midfield was weak because he's not the only midfielder, and he was carrying the entire midfield, right? The wingers today, again, Saka, not a good performance from Saka. Very selfish in certain instances. He was very selfish. Could have passed it, went for a shot, all that stuff. Bad pass, and there was one where he could have just. It was on his weaker right. Could have played it across to the attackers. It was just a bad pass. Went to the keeper. Another one on his right. Instead of passing it, he went for the shot. So just bad options today. Did provide an assist, but overall, not a very good game from Saka. Martinelli, same thing. Had an opportunity in the first half. Just needs some more power behind that shot. Probably would have scored. Again, I didn't really see much. He's just coming back from injury, so you can't really be too harsh on him. But overall, I can't find a player. Marino scored. He looked okay today, to be honest. Like you ask him to play a role, and he's playing the role. He's scoring. He scored the equalizer. So what else you're gonna ask? What else you're gonna ask from him? What else do you want? He gave us the performance that we wanted. He scored, right? So I'm struggling to find a player who actually performed above standard other than Rice. Everybody else was below par today, and it showed in the scoreline at the end. Um, is it concerning? Yes. Is it time for panic? No, because we're still ahead, 5 points ahead. But it was just jarring to watch today, man. It was very frustrating seeing that performance, knowing what was at stake and how we could just separate ourselves from everybody else today, and that didn't happen. The changes came on, didn't really see much in terms of change once they came on. I mean, Odegaard came on, and he was needed in this game because um, we weren't really dominating possession. We weren't really moving the ball around. As it wasn't doing that, so I knew this was a game for Odegaard because he would have space and time, and he did create some opportunities, but just not enough. And I understand he's coming back from injury, so it's going to take time for him again to get back into that rhythm. But I don't see Eze starting in the next game. I think Odegaard will start in that next game because he was missing today. Like that's what we wanted. What we saw from Odegaard when he came on was what we wanted from Eze, and we didn't get that. Skelly had another bad game today. Some people are saying he probably needs a loan move. Maybe he does. I don't know, but he just needs an arm around the shoulder because he just didn't have a good game today. Got booked. Madueke, he looked okay. Wanted to see him on the right instead of the left. Saka should have probably been hooked and put Nani on the right. Didn't see that. Gyökeres came on. Gyökeres had an opportunity. If Timber had just, if he had just probably communicated with Timber more effectively. Hey, that's me. That's me. You know what I'm saying? He probably would have had an easier goal, an opportunity at goal, and he probably would have scored. It was a clear chance, and that would have probably won the game for us. But overall, it wasn't a good performance. We have Brentford midweek on Wednesday at home. So this should help us to kind of get back on form, win that game, and take the next game away at Aston Villa, which will be a more difficult game for us. But we need to win our next two games just to not allow panic to set in and, put some more pressure on the Chasers. Uh, but again, guys, no need for panic. It's a need for concern, but no need for panic. We're still ahead. Let's not lose our heads here. Let's continue to support the team and see how we do midweek, and then we'll reassess and analyze and see where we are. All right, guys, go ahead, smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel as of yet. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I'll catch you again tomorrow where we'll dissect the performance for today. Appreciate you guys. Have a safe weekend and enjoy your week coming forward. Appreciate you guys. Peace.